So it's worth reflecting, 228 years ago, Pittsburgh was quite different. It was a small frontier outpost carved out of the western Pennsylvania forest. It's also worth reflecting at that time, as a country, we were just a few months from our founding fathers going to Philadelphia to begin the process that would result later that year in their drafting of our Constitution, and later that year by the ratification of that Constitution by the very first states. And here, just across the state, but frankly a world away, at the edge of a wilderness and a land dominated by rugged individualists, our founder, Hugh Henry Brackenridge, was pushing for the creation of a new school, writing that we all know that the strength of a state resides in the superior mental capacity of its inhabitants. Now, why is this important? Well, in February, the Pennsylvania Assembly listened to Hugh Henry Brackenridge and passed an act to establish the school. It was then called the Pittsburgh Academy. And the act opens with the clause, whereas the education of youth ought to be a primary object of every government. It's quite interesting. This is important because the mission of this university was and remains to support both the private good of what an education brings to all of you individually, so that you can advance and prosper in your own lives, but it also provides a key public good, that an educated and enlightened population is the key to the well-being of a society and to its capacity to prosper and thrive. Today there is a growing cynical view, one even embraced by several elected officials across the country, that higher education is purely a private good. The only benefits accrued are to those who get the education, or in the language of some, that it really is only about receiving special work-related training and skills. And of course, the natural policy response to that is to slash funding and to minimize the value of higher education to being at best kind of a high-end job training program. I wholeheartedly reject this view. In fact, that viewpoint runs counter to our own history. Our mission, when distilled down to its simplest form, is to make the world a better place through knowledge. And it undoubtedly benefits those who are educated here, and it will certainly lead to greater opportunities for their jobs, their careers, and their lives. But it also leads to a societal benefit in an educated population and by our collective advances in understanding the world around us. Our governments, our economies, our communities, and our world are all the better for us being here. One only has to look at Western Pennsylvania to see that this is true. There is perhaps no other place where the power of ideas and the creative ingenuity of its students, faculty, and alumni have been so responsible for transforming a region or an area and benefiting everyone, not just the alumni. Pittsburgh today looks nothing like the small frontier town that it was, any more than Pitt resembles the log cabin classroom where it started. Both have been dramatically changed and reinvented many times by technology, by society, by circumstance, but most of all by the people who have studied, worked, and lived to transform this university and this place. We have become a model for the rest of the world. Visitors come to see the Pittsburgh story and try to emulate our magic sauce for success and reinvention. And of course, a central part of that story and a key ingredient in that magic sauce has been the region's university, and Pitt principally among them. Our history proudly endorses our founders' belief that there is no greater measure of the strength of a state than in the mental capacities of its inhabitants. And it is for this reason that Pitt stands as a beacon of hope to the residents of this region. Almost 150 years after our founding, another University of Pittsburgh chancellor, John Bowman, wanted to capture this symbolic power of the university to the community, and he called for a new tall building to be erected on the Oakland campus that, in his words, quote, was to be more than a schoolhouse. It was to be a symbol of the life that Pittsburgh through the years had wanted to live. It was to make visible something of the spirit that was in the hearts of pioneers as long ago they sat in their log cabins and thought by candlelight of the great city that would sometime spread out beyond their own three rivers, and that even they were starting to build. Now, this was a little controversial. One, I might add, that was actually opposed by many of the faculty, the community, even members of the Board of Trustees. Many practical-minded Pittsburghers thought this project was a frivolous waste of money, an opinion that I suspect was strongly strengthened when our country slipped into the depths of the Great Depression. But ultimately, the Cathedral of Learning did become the symbol that Chancellor Bowman envisioned. And I don't think it's because of its striking Gothic appearance and 42 stories that stand above Oakland or its unique architectural features, but more because that building captured the spirit of this university and what it meant to the region. It is a place of hope, of big ideas, ideas that carry the potential for our own transformation, sometimes against tremendous odds. As I reflect on my own journey, many things combined to bring me back to Pitt, to serve as your chancellor. Some personal, some professional, but standing above all of them was this great mission: to improve ourselves, our communities, our cities, and our nation, and the world around us through learning and knowledge. As a lifelong public servant, I could not imagine a higher calling, and it was a mission that I wanted to be part of. Now, like the cathedral, Pitt is built on very firm, strong foundations. We have a clear mission. We respect our traditions and our history. We have our integrity, a type of professional Pittsburgh humility, our deep commitments to excellence and to service. These core values that have stood us so well are as important today as they ever were. They provide the strength and stability that we need to progress. But they don't mean that we are rebuilding the past. We are not an ivory tower, a place that you escape to, and the real world, and just contemplate the world around you. These things can happen while you're here, but universities are actually in the future business. And that means we have to be a full part of the vibrant and dynamic world around us. Those firm foundations that we build off of give us something to jump from. They're a launch pad. So our journey is actually into the rough weather of the real world. We seek to immerse ourselves in the full turbulence of the world around us, to tackle the biggest challenges, pursue the most disruptive technologies, to seek and understand the most profound questions, and to seek to serve in areas that sometimes can be most uncertain and most full of risk. These are the places where the future is made. So our core values of strength have to be blended and matched with core capacities for dynamism, so we can act and make a difference. And to create the future, our university must also have the capacity for hard work, for creativity, agility, a willingness to take smart risks, to engage the world in all of its diversity, full of all of its new ideas, and value the community that we're part of. So I told you I thought today was a great day to install a new chancellor. Why is that? Because today we are honoring you for your achievements and for accomplishments that you have made this year or during your time here at Pitt. We are here to celebrate you and to congratulate you, and we are proud of you and what you have done. But more importantly, today's ceremony is also designed as a public promise to the future. We are recognizing your achievements today because they illustrate your future potential to do great things, to live great lives, and to make a big difference. If Pitt's mission is to improve our state through knowledge, then ultimately you are the measuring stick for our success. After all, it is through the knowledge that you have created and the people that you have served and the lives of impact that you will live that are the transforming power of this university. So today's honors convocation is the right time to install a new chancellor. And it serves to remind me that my job is to serve this institution to the best of my abilities, to foster the conditions so that our students, our faculty, and our staff can do great things, to be your champion, represent your work to the world around us, and most of all, to be held accountable to you and by you, and to measure our success by your capacity to make a difference in the world around us. So I am very proud and humbled to be installed as your Chancellor today and to join with all of your friends and family in the great cause of building a better future together. It is my privilege to honor you today for your accomplishments and to recognize the promise of so many more that are going to come. So let me be the first to congratulate all of you for a job well done. Hail to Pitt.